Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome to the second in our series of shows. This is the Network Marketing TV channel, and you are joined today by myself, May-Stubbins, and also the wonderful Chris Ogle, who is from Link for Growth. So the point in these shows is to just really give a background and an insight into the industry of network marketing. And today's show is going to be really exciting. We've got a couple of guests on, which I'm going to introduce you to in a moment. But the purpose of today's show is to really talk about who network marketing is for and who can be a part of the industry. So we are sure that you'll get lots from this episode. We've got some great questions that we're going to be firing at our guests today. So firstly, we have the wonderful Andy Robinson from Arbonne. So if you just would like to say hi, Andy, and introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit about yourself, that would be great.
No problem at all. Thank you very much. So my name is Andy Robinson. I am an independent consultant with Arbonne and a district manager, which basically means I've reached the first level of promotion. Now, if you'd asked me that question a year and 2 months ago, I wouldn't have said that. I would have said I was a manager of an Apple store. And I was in retail management and hospitality management for about 12 years. But I just came to the conclusion, it took me a while to work it out, that life's too short to do something that you don't love doing. And whilst I liked my job, I didn't love it. And there were certain elements of it that just left me unfulfilled. So I took the leap of faith 14 months ago to leave, to follow my true passion, which is to be an actor and a presenter, which I'm glad to say I'm now doing. I'm now living my dream. Now, unfortunately, being an actor and a presenter at the age of 44 is quite tough to try to break into that industry. And as anybody in that profession will tell you, sometimes you get paid, sometimes you don't. And luckily, I was then introduced to Arbonne a couple of months later. I was introduced to somebody by a friend of mine who I used to work with, and she just invited me along to have a little look. I knew nothing about the industry. I knew nothing about skincare and health and wellness, but I was open to ideas. I took a little look. I did some research independently of what Arbonne told me. I tried the products and fell in love with them. And the last year, coming up for a year, it's been 11 months that I've been doing Arbonne, has been the most incredible journey. What started as a plan B has turned into a plan A. And because of Arbonne, the future is just rosy. I love that I get to share this with people. I love that I get to help people who are in a similar situation than I was, perhaps stuck in a job that they don't love, with no plan to exit and no way out. And I get the chance to share that with people and help them fill the gaps in their life and make other dreams come true.
Amazing. I love it. Thank you so much. And I can so relate to so much of what you were saying. My background as a dancer, I was filling my passion, you know, I was doing something that I loved, but the income wasn't necessarily something that I loved. So network marketing, again, was the part that gave me the best of both worlds, really. So yeah, exciting, wonderful. Thanks so much, Andy. And then we've got the wonderful Stephanie Taylor as well. So Steph, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and what you do now?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Sarah, my story is very different. I've been around network marketing for many, many years now. In fact, it's coming on to being 15 years, which, you know, is certainly not a flash in the pan for us. When I joined, I was working in the fitness industry, but prior to that, I'd been in the Royal Air Force as an engineer. I was a woman in a man's world. I was a square peg in a round hole. And so I left that to do something that I absolutely loved, which was to get into sport, exercise and fitness. I just absolutely adored that. But the only problem was the income wasn't as good. You know, I was struggling, trying to do 4 or 5 part-time jobs to make the equivalent of the full-time income, and I was actually failing miserably to do that. So I came across Forever Living quite by accident. Somebody just handed me a card in the street, and so I just looked at it and very skeptical. But actually I just thought, well, you know what, this could be job number 5 or job number 6. And I only really saw it as a way of earning a couple of extra £100 a month so that I could make up a bit of difference and make up some income for the household, really. But actually, when I got started, I saw that it was a way that I could have what I wanted, which was a way to be able to stay at home, do one thing, not running around like a headless chicken, and perhaps in the future have a family. That was something that I wanted to do. So I got stuck in. After 6 months, I gave up 2 of my part-time jobs. After 18 months I gave up the rest of them, and Forever really has been my full-time source of income ever since. To cut a very long story short, I now have an 11-year-old son. The reason I got so involved in Forever in the first place was we had to pay for some very expensive fertility treatments to be able to have him in the first place. So there was no way I was going to go back to work and give him to a nanny or put him into childcare when I'd gone through what I'd gone through. So Forever had given me the income to be able to be a stay-at-home mum, which was something that I was absolutely thrilled. So I've never really had one of those proper jobs as such. I've always managed to have an income from Forever. My partner joined me in the business as well. He went from working full-time in the Air Force to just working very part-time. Indeed, he still just works 2 days a week now, and the rest of the time we have together. I believe we've got some fantastic, we have fantastic life balance at the moment. You know, I'm lucky because I'm one of those mums who can start work after 9, finish before 3, and have all school holidays off. You know, that's what I want without having to worry about childcare. And it also gives me a lot of time to do my passion, which is adventure cycling. That's what I call it now. But I spend a lot of time on my bike, doing some very long endurance exercise challenges, which I just adore doing now. And from an income point of view, you know, there are people who've joined the business since I've been in the business, and they've earned far more than I have. But I'm so thrilled because in 2 months' time we will be making the final payment on our mortgage, and we will have paid it all off 10 years early. 10 years early. So, you know, that's what it's done for us, and it will continue to do so for the rest of our lives. It's something that's around to stay. Even though I've been around it for a long time, I'm going to be around it for a lot longer.
That is so inspiring. Thank you so much for sharing, Steph. And it just goes to show what I love about this industry is 2 very different people, very different backgrounds, but both becoming very successful and leading the life that they really want to lead rather than what we feel we should lead just because that's what we're told we should have. So yeah, I'm just honoured to be surrounded by people like you and to have you on the show to kind of find out more about it and to ask you some questions so you can share all your wisdom and knowledge with everyone that will be listening. So, questions for you. We've got a few questions to fire away at you. The first one, what are some of the characteristics that you think network marketing works for? So what kind of characteristics do you feel people need to be successful in the industry? So Andy, over to you first.
That's a great question. And I do believe that every single person has some greatness within them. And the ability to do this. It's like anything, it's a learnable skill, and the skills that you need to be successful and to continue to improve to be successful are very much learnable skills. So anybody can learn to do it. However, I think first of all there's the vision to say yes and to see what this truly offers, because if you can really understand what network marketing is, I don't think you can kind of say no to it, really. I've come from a world of business, but I've never known a business opportunity that can offer such reward for such little in terms of financial risk. In terms of getting started, it's very, very cheap to do so. But the true skills I think that you need to develop would be, number one, a tenacity. A tenacity to keep going no matter what. A tenacity to do it every day, because it's a self-driven. Whilst you're in business with lots of other people, you're in business for yourself, so it's up to you whether you get up and do it today or not. And that may not suit some people. They might need to be told when to be at work. And in this business, you work for yourself. You work with others, and your role is to help as many other people as possible, but you work for yourself. So if you haven't got that kind of self-drive, you need to work on that. You definitely need to work on that. And the other, I think, would be a tenacity, but also a determination. A determination to know where you're going and to keep going. Because the one thing that you will deal with in this industry is rejection. And as long as you can deal with somebody saying that one little word to you, no, they're not saying it to you or me in particular, they're just saying, no, it's not for me, or no, it's not the right time, or no, I can't see what you see. And as an actor, I'm quite used to that, so I don't take it personally. But that would be my top two.
Brilliant. Yeah, I was going to say exactly the same thing. As a performer, I was used to hearing no every single day of my life. So to have someone say no wasn't really anything different from anything I was used to. And what you've said is so true, Andy, I think, about the fact that it's not that they're saying no to you. It's not a personal thing. It's that they're saying no to the opportunity. And for me, I think that's where some people within the network marketing industry may go wrong, is they take it all personally. And it's not a personal attack in any way, shape or form. It's just, no, it's not for them. It's like saying, no, I don't like Chinese food, or no, I don't like Indian. You know, it's not something to cry about. It's all good. Steph, how about you?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with everything that Andy said. I think that's great. You've hit the nail on the head there. Yeah, I believe that in order to get started in forever in the industry at all, really, you need first of all a deep down burning desire. You know, if you haven't got a reason to get involved and you can't connect with that reason, then you are going to find the no's and the negativity that you get from other people quite difficult. So you need that deep down burning desire. You also need a very strong work ethic, because it is hard work. It isn't something for nothing. It isn't a get rich quick scheme. You know, it is a get rich scheme, probably better than any job that you can get out there, but it's certainly not a quick route to riches. And the fourth thing that you need really is a spanking attitude. You know, you've got to have a positive attitude. And I don't mean by that someone who's running around in a pink tracksuit bouncing off the walls going, oh, isn't it a fabulous day all the time? You know, you've got to have a positive can-do attitude. You've got to have the kind of attitude where, you know, if you see, you don't fall at the first hurdle. You know, if you see a challenge, you pick yourself up and you deal with that challenge head on. You go through it so that you can keep going. And the fourth thing is to develop what I like to call a rhino skin, because yes, as Andy said, you know, you will have people saying no to you. You will have people in your family saying you're mad, you're crazy, go and get a proper job. What are you doing one of those for? It's a scam. And you've got to learn to just let those things just bounce off you. So I think before you even get into network marketing, those are the four things you've got to have: a deep down burning desire, great work ethic, a great attitude, and rhino skin.
Yeah, definitely. 10-foot tall and bulletproof is what I always say. And it's courage, isn't it? It's developing courage, I believe. It's like, it doesn't mean that you're not fearful of situations or that you don't feel slightly, you know, nervous about doing things. It's just that you have the courage to do them anyway. Because like you said, Steph, that burning desire is the thing that propels you forward through that fear and through the anxiety that you may be feeling. So yeah, brilliant, wonderful. So when you introduce people to the business concept and to the opportunity, can you see people do you see people and think, yeah, they're absolutely going to go to the top, they're the ones that are going to make it? Can you kind of tell that? Do you know the ones that are going to make it, Steph?
No, you don't. I really wish people would come with a big sign on their forehead saying I'm a superstar. You know, you really don't. So you have to give people the benefit of the doubt. Usually they make themselves known to you pretty quickly. You can tell by their actions when someone first gets involved with a company. You know, you give them you give them a job to do. You give them some work to do. You set your expectations, and you know, if they rise to those expectations, all well and good. But they self-select, really. You'll soon find out the people who are serious from the people who are not serious. You know, you'll send somebody a link to watch a video, they'll watch it. You'll send somebody an invitation to come to a meeting or a training, and they'll come and they'll plug in. But if they don't, sometimes you have to realize that they're talking to you in code, and they're actually saying, leave me alone, I'm not interested, because we're not going to be that new person's boss, so we can't beat them with a stick and say, you must do this, you must do that. It's a volunteer army, but they need to connect with their own goals such that they will want to plug in, they will want to come to the events, they will want to get trained and know what to do, and they will want to get started and do the activity. Yeah,
absolutely. It's that whole thing, isn't it? You can take a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. So with people, they have to have that want to become independent and want to do it themselves. You're just there, basically, I guess, to facilitate them becoming what they want to be, aren't you?
Yeah, you're really just their mentor and their coach. I always say, I'm not going to be your boss, but I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader. I will cheer you every step of the way. If you take 2 steps, I'll take 4 steps. If you take 4 steps, I'll take 8 steps. But if you take no steps, I'm not taking any steps. You know.
Absolutely. And how about you, Andy? Do you have the capability to see that invisible sign on people's heads, or you've got some special powers that we would all have?
To have that vision. Stephanie's absolutely right, and I think actually she's just nailed it again. You never can tell. You never can tell, and actually it's not up to me, and it's not up to Stephanie. It's not up to you, Sarah. I think our role is to offer to help explain and educate what this opportunity is, and then to allow people to decide with the information that they have as to whether it's the right thing for them or not, and then to help them to be successful should they want to be. But it is indeed a self-driven thing, and what often happens in my shorter experience than Stephanie's is that the people that you think will be a definite yes, this would really suit them, they're quite often a no. And the people that you perhaps immediately discount and maybe pre-select, which is something you certainly shouldn't do, are actually the ones that surprise you and turn out to be the rock stars and really get it and really get the bit between their teeth. But it never fails to surprise me at the diversity in the room whenever you go to an event. And I'm sure it's the same at a Forever Living event, Stephanie. I go to an Arbonne event, and it is literally 18 to 65, every size, shape, color, creed, gender. It doesn't matter. There's no one size fits all, and all sorts of different backgrounds, from stay-at-home mums to doctors and dentists and professional people who've just got fed up with being in the rat race. And so it really is. It's no one size fits all. If only it was easy and there was a big sign on full heads.
Pick me, pick me.
Exactly.
But it's also about I totally agree with what you've both said, and I think it's about honesty, isn't it? When someone is joining the industry, is being honest with them about what it takes to be successful, and honesty about what they want and what they need to do to get that. And I think that's sometimes where there can be a bit of a disconnect, because people do think that network marketing, like you said, Steph, is a get rich quick, that they're going to get to the top and not have to put much effort in. They can speak to 3 friends and Bob's your uncle, they're off and running and good to go. And as we know, that's not necessarily the case. So I think it's about leveling those expectations out and showing people, yeah, absolutely, you can have all that, but you need to know what it takes to get that. You need to put the effort in and be willing to learn the skills to be that person and to get to that point.
Absolutely.
So what do you think are some of the motives for people joining a network marketing team, Andy?
I think a desire for more. And I do believe that there is a growing consciousness, perhaps globally, led, or maybe perhaps more transparent through the internet, and that people are really questioning the traditional, 40-40-40 plan, where you work on something, so usually on somebody else's dream, in a job, 40, let's face it, in today's society, 50 or even 60 years by the time you're ready to retire, in order to, for 40 hours a week, in order to enjoy approximately 40% of what you've earned, because the rest of it will be whittled away. And I think people are really questioning that, and I think you see a lot of people looking for something different, realizing that perhaps more isn't better, in terms of having more money, or because at the end of the day, there's a realization, I think, of more realistic and true values. What are we really doing with our lives? So there's those people that are really questioning what they're getting from their current situation, what they're getting from their current job, and looking to do something different. And I believe network marketing, nobody wakes up and thinks, oh my goodness, I want to be a network marketing a specialist or expert with Forever Living or with Arbonne. But it's a vehicle. It's a vehicle to help other dreams come true. Dreams that may well have been quashed and squashed and forgotten about because you fall into the job that you fall into, or you get into the career that you're in. But I think the biggest motivation is a question of more. There's got to be more to life than this. There's got to be more to life than missing out on all the important events that my family go through, and not being able to see my kids grow up properly and paying somebody else to look after them. And I think there's a real motivation for people to look for something different. And that's one of the reasons, there's many, that I love the network marketing opportunity, because it can reignite that passion in people. You know, if money was no object, what would you really want to do? Would it be travel? Would it be an actor? Would it be start a charity? And most people don't have a clue as to how they can achieve that working for 40 or 50 or 60 hours of their week for somebody else. And that's the ability that network marketing has, is to make those dreams come true. What would you really like to do? Yeah,
and I guess money is just a facilitator, isn't it, to have those things. Like I said, money isn't everything in life, but without money, you can't really do very much. So having the money, which can come from obviously the network marketing industry, to be able to fuel those passions and those dreams and those desires, I guess is what people nowadays are really starting to look for. So Steph, what is it? What tools do people need to get going?
What tools do they need, did you say?
Yeah, to start their own network marketing business.
Well, apart from a spanking attitude, which is what they really need more than anything else, really they need to decide what level they're going to get started at in their company. So really, once they've, whatever that is, whether it's a starter kit or, I don't know, some services that they need to promote, they need to get their hands on that sort of thing as quickly as possible. They need to do their due diligence, really, just to find out all they can about the products and services that the company's offering. And then really you need a phone. You can't do this business without a phone. Really, I mean, when I started, there was no internet. There was no social media. It was just a good old phone. We actually had a little audio tape in those days, a cassette. Do you remember those? You know, the cassettes that you had the tape that all fell apart? Yeah, well, that's what we used.
And wind it back up.
Yeah, with a pencil. Yeah, that's what we used to sort of spread the message. I remember in the very early days, you know, driving miles and miles and miles to meet people, because being in the Air Force, you can imagine I had a lot of close friends and contacts who all lived locally. No, everybody was flung around the country. So all of the people that I wanted to show the business to, I physically had to get in the car and drive and go and see them. But just recently, our company, and I'm sure that other companies have found this, there has been an explosion in their businesses, simply because social media and network marketing is a marriage made in heaven. It really is. If you're on social media, it doesn't matter which platform that you use, but if you're building relationships online, you know, you can show somebody the opportunity that you have in a heartbeat. I can remember having had those little audio cassettes, and then we used to go and see somebody and do a live presentation with them. The first thing that came out was the good old VHS. So you remember the VHS video cassettes? And the presentation was done on a video. And that was amazing because, wow, I didn't have to drive to see someone anymore. I could just put a video in the post to them. And if I was lucky, they sent it back to me. But I didn't worry about it because, my goodness, it was cheaper than actually driving to see somebody. But now, you know, and then it went from a VHS to a DVD, and that was even better because that went first class post. Wow. And then it's just, now you just click a link and you can send a video in a heartbeat to somebody that really explains your business better than you can yourself. I teach people to show people the business in bite-sized chunks. So anything that's just a little 4-minute video or 10-minute video, something like that, they're the sort of tools that you need really to get started. But I think the biggest thing is that you need to make sure that you do know what you're doing. You need a basic training with your upline, your sponsor, whatever you call them in your company. They do need to give you at least some guidance on what to say, because you can make an awful lot of mistakes in the early days if you go off sort of without that knowledge. You know, you do need to spend some time learning how to invite people to take a look, because even doing that is a skill. So I would say get your starter kit, find out what tools that you've got to use to build a business in your company, and then just do a bit of training with your upline so that you know at least how to do a good invitation.
Brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, technology has just revolutionized the industry, hasn't it? To think back to how you had to build your business in the beginning and you were still successful doing that, to think what will happen over the next 10 years with the industry because of technology and how much simpler it has become is really exciting to think about. So Andy, what would you say some of the classic mistakes are that people make when they first start network marketing?
Oh goodness, I can give you a good list of those. I think I don't know what I was going to say. Yeah. I can pull all those out from personal history. So I think not learning the skills, as Stephanie just said. I think learning some of the skills in terms of how to invite and how to share this incredible opportunity, because it really is a life-changing industry. And I think some of the skills that you need to learn, and some of the mistakes, therefore, would be not giving it the seriousness that it deserves. Kind of mentioning it in passing. Not learning how to invite or explain it in a clear fashion. Taking those no's personally. When people don't come back to you or decide that it's not for them, not following the system, thinking that you can know it a little better. And I think of myself here. When I first understood network marketing and understood what it was, I thought, that's right up my street. That is. I love talking to people. I'm really comfortable presenting on a stage. I'm really comfortable talking to people. This is just going to be perfect. And I didn't get the success that I would have hoped for. And it took a real level of introspection to look back and think, okay, what do I need to just get my head down, learn what I need to learn, follow the success plan. I thought I could kind of do it my way. And the path has already been beaten here. I don't need to do anything different. It's been already done by the successful people in the organisation. I just need to copy and mimic what they've done, and it would be fair to assume that I will achieve the same levels of success. So I think that's probably the biggest one, is not following the system and thinking that you're best.
And that's the beauty of the industry, isn't it? It's a clear-cut system. You are shown what to do. So the reality is, to be successful, you just need to follow what has already been done before. And I think for me, that was one of the really important parts when I looked at the industry, because I'd never built a business before, and knowing that someone was going to show me what I needed to do and all I needed to be willing to do was to follow them, I was like, count me in, I can follow. Give me a step to do and I can do it. But if I'd had to think of it all on my own, I wouldn't have been able to create what I've created through the network marketing industry. Most definitely not. Brilliant. So obviously there's a lot of hype around the industry. I think especially more so now than ever, because people are seeing that the industry is growing at rapid rates and will continue to do so over the next 5 to 10 years. What is the downside, would you say? What are the downsides of the industry, Steph?
I think sometimes as distributors or reps or consultants, whatever you want to call us, we can be our own worst enemy. And by that, I mean sometimes we can be seen to be pulling other companies down. And that's something that really we shouldn't be doing. I mean, it was only the other week somebody put something up about my company. And it was very, very negative. And I just thought, my goodness me, that's just not really the way we do business. There are enough customers out there for all of us. There are enough team members out there for all of us. It's actually, if we have to get together and side against something, we should be siding against the 9 to 5 rather than against each other. So I think if we can just learn to get the thumbs up there from Andy. I think if we can just learn to just, we're not in competition with each other. We're really not. So we don't need to be doing that. So really what we need to be doing is promoting. And I'm so glad that you've done this, because anything in my book that promotes the industry as a whole, no matter what company you're in, is a brilliant thing to do. Because all companies are great. Obviously Andy has his company and I have mine, because that's the personal choice. We've related and bonded with those particular products and that particular company, because that floats our boat. But in terms of what we do, we all really do more or less the same thing, and we all have this message that network marketing is now a professional industry. And one thing I would say, if anybody is looking at network marketing, is to make sure that their company is a member of the Direct Selling Association, because that way you'll know that the company is above board. It complies with UK law, and that's really, really important, because other than other reps in legit companies, there are unfortunately some companies out there that are not legit still, really, and they do try and create this thing that gives the whole industry a bit of a bad name, and that's what we've got to get rid of. You know, the people who are, I don't know, selling gift vouchers and hearts and that kind of thing. That was a few years ago now, but I'm sure they're still around. But it's all this people still wanting something for nothing.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was our purpose with this whole TV show, was to really show what the industry is about, like you said, to show that this is a profession. This is an absolute profession, and we are all here to work together. For me, it's like when one wins in the network marketing industry, we all win, because it shows that this profession really works and is real. And we should, like you said, Steph, for me, I'm absolutely 100% in with everything you say. Like, we should all be cheering each other on, regardless of what company we're in. It does not matter, in my opinion. I'm like, when anyone is successful in the network marketing industry, I will be whooping and cheering like the best of them. Andy, how about you?
No, I agree with what Steph said entirely. And in fact, I've just recently had experience with two friends of mine who have joined the industry, both in different companies, neither of the two companies that we represent today. And the first thing that I did was just get really excited for them. And because there's such a synergy, and as Steph said, it's the same industry. So I shared my reading list, and we had a long conversation, and I tried to help them along the way, to help them get started as best as they possibly can, and just to validate what they've done. They've taken a leap that could be a game-changing experience for them.
Yeah,
and a life-changing experience for them and for their family as well. But that's it. The people just, when I first looked at this industry, and I was completely out of the blue, I knew nothing about it, I just thought it was kind of one of those things. And I did my research and realized this is massive. This is just an enormous industry. There are over $300 billion worth of legitimate products moved through this model every year. I mean, that's bigger. That generates more money than the movie industry. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's huge. And I think the advent of the internet as well, in terms of how comfortable we are shopping online, has really changed the face of this business. But no, I believe it's just a legitimate thing. And of course, the one thing that came through to my mind was, oh my God, it's a pyramid scheme. I didn't really know what a pyramid scheme was, but my dad had told me, oh, whatever you do, don't get ever involved in a pyramid scheme. And obviously now I did my research before I got involved, but I understand very, very clearly the difference between illegal pyramid schemes and illegal pyramid selling and network marketing. It's a very legitimate business. And the irony, of course, is that the true pyramid is corporate world. And that's the irony. It really is. I had somebody, a prospect, says the other day, but isn't it a pyramid? And I was like, well, that's very interesting. I thought the same thing. But the truth is, she works as an account manager. So do you have a boss? And does your boss's boss have a boss? And does your boss's boss's boss have a boss? And we could go on like that for a while. But of course, at the end, you get to the top of that pyramid, and the difference in network marketing is you get to decide where you go. Everybody starts at the bottom, and you get to decide through the tenacity that you display, through the determination, through the skills that you learn, and through doing the do. You get to be at the top, and the only way to do that is to help other people. And I love that about this industry. I love the fact that the success only comes through helping other people. Somebody joins the business, and if they're not successful, nobody wins. But if they are successful and you help them to be successful, then everybody wins. And I just love the common nature of this. When I've really got my head around it and I first saw it, I thought, oh my goodness, this is the future. This is the future of shopping. This is how we will shop in the future. It's how we will connect with each other. We'll just almost trade services with each other. It's friends helping friends, people helping people. And we can all be successful and take a slice of the pie for ourselves. It's like, yeah, we can all be John Lewis.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad that you highlighted those misconceptions again, because that was something that we spoke about in our first show, about a lot of those preconceived ideas as to what people think that network marketing is. And obviously the pyramid analogy is the one that comes up time and time again, although I do feel that that is definitely shifting. The more the industry is becoming recognized, the more people are going, actually, maybe this was just some word that I've heard in the past and I don't actually even know what that means. They are starting to educate themselves a little bit more, but the way you've described it, exactly, is is so true about the corporate world is more of a pyramid than anything that network marketing could ever be. And the reality is anyone in network marketing can be as successful as they choose to be. Like Steph said, she's introduced people to the business to earn more money than her. And that shows that it could never be a pyramid, because that would be impossible if that was ever the case. And yeah, for me, the industry, I get so excited by the industry still to think about where it will be over the next 5 to 10 years. It's just an ever-growing industry that will continue to spread, isn't it? Because it just makes too much sense to too many people. Now, not everyone makes it to the top in network marketing. Not everyone is successful. Why is that? Why do you think that is, Steph?
Well, first of all, you've got to define what success is. For somebody who feels that success for them is earning a couple of £100 a month, then that's great. That they've achieved that success if they decide that that's the goal they want and they hit that goal. That's fantastic. If somebody wants to earn £1,000 a month and they hit that goal, that's great. If someone just wants more time in their life, they want to sack the boss and they've managed to do that, that's great. 6-figure incomes require a 6-figure effort. And if you've got that as a goal, then you will take the steps necessary to achieve that goal. I don't believe that people fail in this industry. What I believe is that people quit. People just give up. They let the negatives get to them. It's not that the system doesn't work. It's very much like a gym. If I can liken it to going to a gymnasium, you sign up in January. Many people have quit by February. And why have they quit? Is it because the gym's no good? No, of course it's not. The gym is still there. It's providing a great service, but those people have quit because maybe they tried to do too much too soon. Maybe they didn't follow the system of the gym, coming on a regular basis. Maybe they had too great an expectation for, the amount of time they had to be able to put into it. But then you're also going to get the people who make it 6 months down the line, they lose a bit of weight to go on holiday, they've achieved their goal, and that's what they want, and they're perfectly happy with that. And then you're going to get those people who want to come in and they've got a serious goal, they want to run a marathon, they want to become a bodybuilder, and so they put in the required training to be able to achieve that goal. So really, I don't think anybody fails. I just think that they quit. Many people perhaps don't get committed enough to do it, and maybe it's a very low risk industry. You can get involved usually for less than a couple of £100, and I'm not saying that that's an easy sum of money for a lot of people to part with, but when you think it's the price of perhaps a DVD player or an iPad, it's not even as much as an iPad, is it really? It's kind of a bit too cheap, dare I say it sometimes. It's easy to get into, it's easy to do, but it's also easy not to. And sometimes I don't think people give it the respect that they deserve, that the industry deserves, because if they'd invested thousands of pounds into a franchise, they would probably give it the equivalent amount of effort. But maybe if they've only invested a couple of £100, oh, okay, maybe it's just sat there on the credit card, oh well, I've got some products for that, or I've got a great service for that, so I'm not going to lose a lot. So there isn't an awful lot at stake. The risk isn't very big. So it's not a lot to really, dare I say, give up. For some people, it's massive. And I always say to people, if it's massive for you, that's great. You're going to make it work. If it's not a massive amount of money, then play perhaps a little mental game with yourself. Just put an extra 0 or an extra 2 zeros or 3 zeros on the end of that figure and pretend that's the amount of money you've invested. And then take it that seriously, because this business will deliver exactly that amount of income if you put that amount of effort into it.
Yeah, absolutely. I always say to people, treat your business like you've invested £1 million in it. Yeah. Because the reality is, if you'd invested £1 million to start a business, you wouldn't be treating it as a small little thing on the side that was maybe going to work if you kind of put some effort in. You'd just be out there making it happen, because you'd know the consequences of not making it happen. You'd be like, this has to work. And actually, that was kind of where I was at when I started in the network marketing industry. I was like, this has to work. It has to, because there's no backdoor route for me to go out of. And I think what I believe makes people successful, like you said at the beginning, Steph, is that burning desire, because they're in a situation that desperately needs to change. And so when they see that the opportunity is within the network marketing industry and it's in their hands, they are willing to make it happen, and they're willing to put the work in no matter what, because they can see that it's the route out of whatever situation they're actually in. And like you said, it's so true. What is success? Success is different for every single person, and you know, £100 to some person a month can be success, or to have new friendships, or to have the holiday, you know, whatever it is different for everybody. So when people say, well, you know, not many people are very successful, it's like, well, how do you know? How do you know what success means to other people? Danny and Andy, even over to you. What are your thoughts on that as well?
And I think, Steph, again, you make a really, really good point. The definition of success is a very personal thing. But it's funny, somebody said to me the other day, well, a couple of things. They said, how much money did you make in your first month? And I answered them very honestly. And I said, I don't know. And it's not that I don't know how much money I made in that first month, but I haven't finished counting it yet, because I managed to get a number of customers in my first month who repeat purchase. So they're continuing to shop. So I'm still earning from that first month's effort. But actually, success, I don't think, is really about the money. I stated this rather honestly. I do it for free. I do it for free. I've had such a curve of learning and growth and experience and change in my life over the last 10, 11 months. I'd almost pay for that. I'd pay somebody else to give me what I've been given. It's led me on a journey of personal growth and discovery, which has made me a very happy chap. Forget the money. I had the money when I worked at Apple, and I walked away from it because I wasn't happy. It's not actually what you get, it's who you become along the way. That's the true value of this business, the true growth. It's what you become, it's the person that you become in order to achieve the success, which inevitably follows that, if we put success as financial. But I joined network marketing thinking that this would provide a nice little plan B for me to work on when I wasn't working as an actor, and would give me a little bit of income here and there. I love the products that make it look great, so I thought I'll keep doing that anyway. And the reality is that, of course, we all do network marketing. It's just that some of us don't get paid for it, because network marketing is simply recommending products and services that you love to your friends and family and people that you meet. It's as simple as that. We all do that. We all do that all the time. It's just that unless you're actually affiliated with a company, you don't earn from it. But what I've discovered through doing network marketing for the last 11 months, and the journey that I've been on is invaluable. It's led me to a journey of personal development, which has led me on a journey of spiritual development, which has, as I say, led me to be the happiest person you'll talk to today.
Brilliant. That's amazing. And I can see you're literally like glowing.
I do. I have been at the gym today, so I'm feeling a little bit well. But then I've got time for my day to go, which is lovely, right?
There you go. There you go. So, Steph, anyone who is watching this, who is thinking about looking into the industry or getting involved in the network marketing industry, what would your best advice be to them?
Find a product or a service that you can relate to, because if you don't like the product, you're never going to be successful in the business. For anybody to get paid in this industry, product has to move hands to an end consumer in some way, shape or form. And if you can't speak from the heart when you're recommending these products, people will see through you. They won't believe that you're genuine. So you know, you've got to bond with them. So pick something that really does float your boat. That would be, and then do your due diligence. But that would be my best advice.
Brilliant. And Andy, how about you?
And I would echo that. And I would also say, have a good look at the company. See how long they've been around. Longevity is a great test of the tape. If the company's been around for a long time, you know that there's a legitimate product behind it with a need, that people need that product. And then, so secondly, I would also suggest have a look at the training that's on offer, because like anything, I think one of the biggest reasons that people say no to network marketing is because it's so different to what they've been currently doing, whatever background they come from. And the beauty, of course, is that, like anything, it's a learnable skill. But the well-established companies have a very significant and quality training plan. And I can honestly say that the training that I've had in the last 11 months is better than the training that I've had at any point in my career. And I've worked, I've worked for Apple, the world's richest and most admired company. The training was great, but it wasn't a patch on what I get with my company, and that is just cornerstone of allowing me to strive towards the success, learning the skills and being taught those skills by the people who are already successful.
Yeah. That's the best thing, isn't it? Having someone showing you exactly what to do, how to move forward, but not just in business, but in life and as a person. In the words of the legendary Jim Rohn, work harder on yourself than you do on your business. And I think that's so apparent from the network marketing industry, because I think the only thing that holds people back in the industry is what's going on here, what they're telling themselves, what they think they're worth. And the more you can do to work on that belief and that mindset propels your whole business and your life forwards. So it's been amazing speaking to you both. Thank you so much for being on with myself and Chris today. We've learned so much. So we've looked at who can be involved in the industry, and the reality and the answer is anyone. Obviously, you need a strong work ethic, you need desire, and you need to be committed if you really want to be successful. But this is an industry that anyone can be successful in if they choose to. And we hope that from today you've seen people from very different backgrounds being very successful in the industry. So if the industry is something that you're looking at, then do exactly as Andy and Steph have spoken about today. Do your due diligence, look at the company, find a product that you're interested in, and then my personal opinion is take a blind leap of faith and just do it, in the words of Nike. You know, we always overthink things as human beings, and if we let our logical brain take over, fear is the overriding emotion that will always stop us doing everything. So for me, when I looked at the industry, it was the gut feeling that I got that made me go, I have to do this. There is no way that I'm not being a part of it, because I just had this gut feeling that it was something that I needed to be a part of. And thank goodness I did, because if I'd have let my logical brain take over, fear would have absolutely stopped me, and I still wouldn't have done it to this day. So if that's you and you're looking at this industry, then like we said, do your due diligence, find a company that fits for you, and then just take that blind leap of faith and put your trust into someone who is going to be there to support you every step of the way and help you become successful and create the life that you've always probably wanted but never thought you could really have. So, Chris, have you got anything to add?
I'm going to say something now. I've been sitting there patiently for the whole blooming show. So I'm going
Sorry.
I tell you what, I'm going to give you the quote of the interviews today. I would do it for free. It's not what you earn; it's who you become on the way. And I think, actually, I'm not in the network marketing business, so I'm sitting here soaking this up. And actually, there's some huge similarities between any endeavour, whether it be a traditional business or whether it be something that I'm personally obviously involved in Link for Growth. But you have to take responsibility and stop blaming other people for things that went wrong. And when Steph was talking about people quitting, it's because they choose to blame something else than accept that actually it was them that didn't do what was required. I think one of the things that's come out here is that actually meet a lot of people, and you meet a lot of people who become really good friends. And I know, Sarah, you know all the people that are in the business, kind of like it's an Arbon convention and you have a party.
But
everyone who I talk to, it seems to be enjoying their life, and they seem to have a lot of fun. And if the goal in life is really to be happy, is it not? Isn't it to be happy? And actually, money isn't really key in that. Yes, being happy can mean going away and having a holiday and stuff like that. But ultimately, to be happy and spiritually aware, Andy, which is a journey you're going through, and one that Link for Growth has taken me through, whether I like it or not. It's part of the deal, and you've got to go through it. So, and I think with this industry, everybody can win. And this is so much different to the corporate world. There aren't really any losers. And if people buy the product and they enjoy it, if they don't enjoy it, they can give it back. If they do enjoy it, they can use it. Brilliant. If they think they want it for free and they can do a little bit and help a few other people, then they can have it for nothing. And if they want to make a bit of money, just do a bit more of what they've just done. And if they want to make a full-time income, they could just do loads of it. So there isn't actually any part of this where you can lose.
No, absolutely. Nothing that can be lose, only things to gain in my eyes.
So yeah, it's been a great show. Thanks, thanks, Steph. And yeah, it's always late notice because I'm very lazy at asking people. So
rescue.
It was like we haven't got guests. Better rush out and find some people who are at different stages. But I really love the fact that you both of you are actually doing this for a completely different set of reasons. Andy's doing it for nothing.
Anything he gets along the way will be a bonus.
and Steph's doing it because she wants to spend she wants to spend her time with her child, you know, and what an amazing couple of things, you know, just fantastic. So
yeah,
great
really
very well done, mate, both of you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Been wonderful. Thank you so much, guys, for being on. I'm sure you've inspired many people to really take a look at this industry now, which is what we're all here to do. So thank you.
Thank you.
Fabulous. All right. Well, thanks for hosting today. That was your first time hosting today.
Feedback, please, guys.
So the next job is to learn the thing that I've been doing, but you're going to have to talk at the same time because I'm not doing what you just did.
Good. I'm open to instruction. I can take new skills.
No, fabulous. And this show will be up. It'll be up on YouTube as we finish it, but I did share it on my wall, so if people want to reshare that round, then please do. And yeah, there were 370 odd views on the last one, Sarah. So
brilliant.
Let's see if we can get that up to 500 or 600, huh?
We can do that. We can do that.
Fabulous. Okay, that's it then.
Thank you,
everybody.
Thank you.
Take care now. Cheerio.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.